Folks, prick up your ears and listen very carefully. That is not a chaotic chain of mixed sounds. It is the expansion specification of an era long gone. A slow, sharp-edged band of seismic vibration carrying the weight of dozens of tons of cast iron and steel hammering into one another. From the Anderson two-stroke engine block, grimly pressing out its slow piston strokes, to the space-ripping pressure release roar of the 140-ton Snow air compressor block. Welcome back to the engine history. Today, we are not just standing around watching machines run for show. We are diving straight into old machine shops, filling our lungs with the smoke of half-burned diesel oil, and measuring the vibration spectrum of the foundation surface beneath the brutal momentum-storing rotations of the flywheel. Look straight at the Anderson Model K 22 block. Carrying 30 horsepower, yet holding its revs at only 320 revolutions per minute, this machine is a steely specification sheet for the mechanical mindset of the early 20th century. Squeezing revs to chase speed is disposable nonsense. A torque band capable of twisting shafts apart and raw endurance under punishment are the true core values. The engineers of that era cast, milled, and lathe machined massive flywheels to store every bit of centrifugal kinetic energy, forcing the machine to shoulder punishing workloads for decades in oil fields or dusty remote farms. If you also respect the rigid strength of original mechanical engineering, if you are hooked on inspecting rusted steel blocks holding the power of a true workhorse, please hit subscribe to the Engine History right now. Your follow is a priceless stream of high-pressure pumped lubricating oil, helping the team continue hunting down and craning the most violently powerful mechanical heritage blocks on the planet back onto the test stand. Starting up an engine block cast in the 1940s forced the mechanic to win a test of physical endurance, not casually turn an electric starter key. Take a look at the Swedish origin 6-horsepower Varnäs block. This is a hot bulb configuration, the predecessor blueprint of modern diesel compression ignition systems. The mechanic had to follow a face-scorching, heat-forcing cycle. Clamp on a gasoline blowtorch spitting flame directly into the combustion chamber until the cast iron mass glowed red hot. The smell of thermally expanding metal mixed with traces of crude oil, releasing the thick chemical odor of a mechanic's workshop. And when the first momentum-stored rotation of the flywheel crawled past compression dead center, fuel was driven straight into the glowing hot point and self-ignited with an ear-tearing blast. Whether it was residual kerosene, thick crude oil, or vegetable grease, this block swallowed it all clean. That was the brutal fatigue resistance of metallurgy in the harshest periods of fuel scarcity. The towering peak of brutal load-forcing power in today's session is locked in by the 600-horsepower Snow air compressor block cast in 1917. Carrying a body more than 22 meters long and weighing 140 tons, It goes beyond the mark of a simple machine. It is an entire load compression station complex paired with a massive flywheel 5.5 meters in diameter. Each centrifugal rotation pounds into the crankshaft a terrifying torque band, reaching 31,000 foot-pounds. Just try calculating for yourselves the intensely stretched compression pressure inside that pair of double-acting cylinders. Every time the piston drives forward or snaps backward, natural gas is hydraulically compressed and packed tightly before being pushed straight through a pipeline network stretching tens of thousands of miles. The hard-edged exhaust note of this block is known among tradesmen as stack music, a steely range of sound displaying pure pressure force, furnace fire, and mechanical tolerance. Pulling the test stand away from the stationary engine blocks, the Tractormania event throws the mechanic crew back into the dust of agricultural work sites. Workhorse machines such as the Danish-origin 7-horsepower Skagen block, even after mechanics tore it down and fitted a new cylinder sleeve, still hammered out slow, intermittent, sharp-edged exhaust beats. Lubricating oil splashed heavily from the linkage arms, sticking to the peeling, painted surface and turning it into a logbook, recording the wear specifications of time. Turn the gears of history forward to the late 1980s, and the crew comes face to face with the Mack E7 block. This was the transition point where mechanical milling and turning shook hands with electronic circuit boards. It was still a 12-liter diesel compression ignition block, hammering out extremely fierce pressure, accompanied by the wind-tearing whistle of the turbocharging system. But the semi-electronic injector array had forced the expansion cycle to become more precise and cleaner in soot output. It sealed its badge as a heavy-duty truck engine, carrying the entire burden of oversized and overweight long-haul freight across highway routes. From steam engines running smoothly thanks to pressure expansion, to the 140-ton snow giant, all of them close on one shared specification: the endless machining intelligence of the engineers who cast these machines. Modern circuit board machinery may process specifications more smoothly, but it can never match the core toughness of these solid cast iron blocks, where every mechanical clearance and every cam and rocker angle is exposed 100% directly before the eyes of working mechanics. Thank you, folks, for staying with the engine history today to breathe in acrid smoke, smell grease, and measure this lineup of machines. Which do you respect more? The brutal torsional pressure of the snow air compressor block, or the torch-fired hot bulb ignition specifications of the Varnas? Drop your assessment right into the comments so the workshop crew can inspect it. Do not forget to like the video if you enjoy looking at these original cast iron and steel blocks. Goodbye, folks, and see you again in the next load measuring, rev choking sessions.